we're going to go on to the third study, which is combining the arpeggios and the scales together. So this is where we're getting into some fun stuff here, because now it's going to sound a lot more musical rather than just one concept. And I think you're going to like this one a little bit better. This one's a little harder. I'm going to play it a little bit slower, so hopefully you can follow along a little bit easier that way. Some of you may be sight reading this along with me. It's great. Others, you might be sight reading the tab. It's fine too. Just to be able to get this under your fingers any way possible is a good thing. So, study 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so with this study now, we're combining the two, as I said before, and maybe using a couple of approach note patterns when necessary. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I was still trying to keep that contour for the most part, although I don't think it's quite as directional maybe as the others. You can see in measure 3 where I'm plotting kind of an ascent, and then also going to go back down again. So, and the reason for that is that if you look in measure 4, we've got the A natural as a target. I've been using that as a primary target tone on that fourth measure to really make it sound like it's going to an F7 or some type of F major, really. And then the rest of the notes fill in the F7, flat 9 in this case, because we've got the 7th, flat 7th in this case was an E flat, and then a G flat, which is the flat 9. Okay, so I would say this isn't quite as directional as the others of just going straight up and straight down. Now we're kind of dancing around a little bit, and which is really eventually what you're going to be doing when you solo anyways. You're not going to be just going straight up and straight down. That's just an exercise, but important to be able to do that. You can see that I was getting into some sequential stuff as well there. Really starting around measure 24 or 25. Maybe even before that, actually. I'm seeing measure 23. I've got this line going on. So. Okay, so this kind of sequential stuff, it's very motivic. It can be very nice to add to your playing. It reminds me of kind of a Joe Pass thing that I've heard him do. It's just a way to make those eighth note, even or straight eighth note lines with no break sound interesting, So it sort of breaks the monotony. So I kind of keep that same pattern I did in study 2, which page 2, I've got a little bit more interesting things going on with that, rather than just doing scale to arpeggio. So I hope you're able to see. I think just by looking at this, you could see, go back to measure 1 here. You could say, okay, starting with a scale, a few notes of a scale, then it goes into an arpeggio for a few notes, then goes back to a scale. So there's really no rhyme or reason. It's just being able to mix the two. When I was a student at Berkeley, a teacher of mine there that I had my first semester, Al DeFino, used to sometimes play that way, and I really liked it. I said, "What are you doing with that?" And he said, "Well, instead of playing just a scale or just an arpeggio, I'm playing a scale and I'm skipping some notes in the scale, which kind of makes it arpeggiated." And I thought, wow, that would be a useful thing to be able to learn how to do. I really like that sound a whole lot. So.